T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Good evening, lovely people, and welcome back to Kopish. We are back with our normal Monday night live show. Obviously, you guys would have seen us a couple of hours ago if you watched the preview live. If you haven't watched the preview, make sure you do it straight after this show for the Leicester City game. Matt Drift, 2 hours have passed. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, boy. 2 hours. That's all that's happened, isn't it? 2 hours.
A lot can happen in 2 hours. A lot can happen in 2 hours. You never know. You never know.
They can. On a positive note, at least it means we're 2 hours closer to seeing the game tomorrow. So that's a positive.
Indeed.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
But yeah, man, bank holiday, man. We move.
Shout out to Dave's LFC chats. Big up to yourself, bro, as well. Happy Christmas to you. Happy Christmas to everyone watching as well.
Everybody.
Hope you're all well. Got a good few topics to get through today. So I'm going to be looking at the Afcon call-up delay. Going to be looking at news about Luis Diaz. Rafinha news. Sorry, Matt, to rip off the band-aid with that one. News and talk that there will be no signings in January to bolster the squad. Also looking at 4 years of Virgil Van Dyke, and we'll be doing an FPL update at the end of the show as well. As always, people, please do smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel too. Right, so let's get into the first topic of today, guys. Right, so one of the big fears we had going into the season was obviously the Afcon, and when we saw the fixture list come out, we saw that Chelsea was going to be the game on the 2nd of January. Many of us feared. Therefore, when news came out recently that the African Cup of Nations call-up was being delayed after a request from some of the teams in the Premier League, players such as Mendy for Chelsea, Mane, Salah, Keita for us will now be allowed to leave after that pivotal game against Chelsea and will be leaving on the 3rd of January. Now, the actual Afcon itself starts on the 9th. If teams get to the final, then they'll be there until the 6th of February. So we could potentially lose Keita, Naby Keita, Salah, and Mane for effectively almost a calendar month. Now, again, it depends on how far they get in the competition as well. Also, still don't know the stipulations regarding isolation when they get back, regarding the pandemic, etc. But guys, I just want to ask you, how big of news is that we will be keeping Keita, Mane, and Salah for that Chelsea game?
It's big. It's big news because we kind of assumed that up until this was announced, we wouldn't have them. And we know that even though they might not necessarily be in great form, you're still Chelsea, they're still dangerous, and you need your best players against the best teams in the league. And they are some of our best players. We know this. They are game-changing players. It's not like we're missing, no disrespect, a Taki Minamino or a Nico Williams or something like that. We are now allowed to play Salah, Mane, and Naby Keita. That is massive news, bro. And it makes me a lot more confident as well. Because whatever side Chelsea put out, it's going to be dangerous. And now it means that we can kind of like rest easy that going into a big game, at least we've got total selection over all of our players.
Also, big news for Chelsea as well, keeping Mendy. Drift, how pivotal do you think these 3 players, or 4 players, including Naby, how pivotal do you think those players will be towards sort of this game and potentially the rest of the season? Because Chelsea have dropped a few points. If we win our games in hand, I believe, well, it's a game in hand. If we win it, then we're above them by 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. If we beat them, we could go 7 points clear of them. How big is this game, and how big is it that these players are able to play in it?
Yeah, it's huge because it's away. It was always one of the things that I didn't like about the fact that they left Anfield with a point was now you've got to make sure that you at least match what they've done at your ground in order to not let them gain any points on you, or gain an advantage over you. So in that regard, it's a huge game, even though the game itself is huge just because it's a title game, isn't it? Or it's a title chase game, or whatever you want to call it. So I feel like the Mendy situation is a much easier situation for them. So this benefits us more that we're allowed to keep them, because I said before, I know Mendy's been good, but Kepa isn't actually as bad as people think. He went through that bad spell, but if we went into this game and they just only had Kepa to worry about in terms of who they replace their player with, and then we've got to worry about our entire attack almost, because Naby's kind of part of the attack, even though he plays midfield, because he's one of the attack-minded midfielders. So for me, this really benefits us, and I think Chelsea could have quite easily lost Mendy for this game and still been all right, if I'm being honest. Like, again, I know people disagree with me, but I think Kepa had a really bad, say, 12 months where he did look really, really bad. I think it coincided with the form of Chelsea as well, though. Lampard wasn't doing well. They were playing poorly. There was a lot going on, whatever. I've seen Kepa playing under Tuchel, and he's the Kepa that was the first year Kepa they bought. That was actually pretty good and was pulling off some good saves. So they're not as vulnerable anymore when they play Kepa. So I definitely believe this benefits us. They would have been full strength, in my opinion, going into this game with Mendy or Kepa. I don't think the difference is that huge if for just a one-off game. Maybe if they lost Mendy for an entire half of a season, you could start to think, oh, well, yeah, because maybe Kepa might go back to bad form or rare. But for a one-off game, I think Kepa in goal still pretty much would have kept them at full strength. But we would have been massively affected by losing those 3.
Fair enough, Drift. I think I'll agree to disagree with you on the whole Kepa thing, especially with Mendy. I think you guys know I'm a big Mendy fan, and I don't rate Kepa at all. Like,
Mendy ain't been looking good in the last couple of games, you know, Cal. I'm being real. I'm not trying to say I was right when I said let's hold off that he's this world beater, but last couple of games he ain't really looked like that guy he did before. So I'm saying he isn't necessarily this world beater everyone says. I just think he was in brilliant form. He's a good goalkeeper, and I think how bad Kepa was before has made it very easy to think he's been great, if you get what I mean. Like, because we were just so used to laughing at them with the situation of their goalie. Like, it was comical at one point, innit, when Kepa was in bad form. Like, it was like, oh my God, literally, you have a shot and it goes in. But, like, you know, Mendy, yeah, anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't rate Kepa, bro. I just, I don't think there's anything that can be done to convince me that he's a good goalkeeper. I hear what you're saying about Mendy. He's not been great. I think he was good against Aston Villa personally, but I think Kepa was poor at Chelsea, and if he was in goal against us, I'd have been over the moon. Jota would have packed that brother in. Jota would have packed him in bad.
He's got the T-Rex syndrome.
Yeah, he's Spanish. He's Spanish Pickford. He's Spanish Pickford, just less rash. Spanish Pickford. He's not that guy. Oh, Carefree Lewis. Shout out to Carefree Lewis. Oh, just mention the word Kepa and you'll see how his whole demeanor changes, bro.
That's true.
Samuel says Mendy conceded weird goals. That's why. Yeah, I mean,
well, why I feel like he's off form or like he hasn't played that well. Yeah, maybe. I'm just saying, I don't think he was. Every player, will have this purple patch where they look amazing, and then the true test of whether they are amazing or not is how long that patch lasts for, And then what happens if there's a little dip in form and then how they recover from it. So right now, I just want to see how Mendy recovers from having a little dip in form. He hasn't been crap or anything, but he had a little dip in form. Couple mistakes where you're like, raw, what the hell was that all about? Hasn't looked as solid as he did before. Let's see how he comes through it. And then, as I said, and then give him the entire year. Let's go into the new season. And then I'll be like, no, you lot were right. You lot are right. Mendy's a bad boy still. But I can't just go on the form of last season towards the end where he played brilliantly, then the beginning of this season where he's brilliant, and just act like that all of a sudden just puts him in the Neuer and all of that category where people were putting him. And I was just like, hold on a minute, like this is going a bit far, innit?
He was good for most of last season as well, Drew.
No, the beginning of last season, not really, bro. Not really. I think a lot of Chelsea's good players and good form just all coincided with the manager bounce. And that's not to be disrespectful, because some of these players obviously do have to have the ability. But you look at the people like what's the Danish guy they've got? What's his name again? Christiansen. You look at Rudiger. You look at a lot of these guys that, like Loftus-Cheek, a lot of these guys, they were gone, you know. Like couple more months of Lampard and they were out the door. They wouldn't even be Chelsea man anymore. And no Chelsea fan gave a shit. So I'm just saying, like, the pickup in form, you got to credit it 100%. Like, Rudiger's been a G for the last, say, 8-9 months. Like, you can't even deny, like, he's been a G. But the man was out the door and no Chelsea fan gave a shit up until Tuchel took over. So I just want to make sure this isn't purple patch, new manager bounce kind of thing. And I just want to make sure these men are actually as good as what, you know what I mean, they're being portrayed to be. Because Rudiger's 28. How comes we've only thought he was world-class for 8 months of his life? That don't make no sense. You get what I mean? That don't make no sense to me. Like,
I know what you read, Sammy, innit?
Yeah, Sammy. Me and Sammy have had this back and forth since I said something about Minamino, and he's coming from me every show now. I love Sammy, bro. I'm going to just shower you back with love.
In terms of, I was just going to say, in terms of Rudiger, yeah, I think Rudiger's good. But obviously, playing in a back three massively helps them, and it kind of papers over cracks that I think freedom have for different reasons. For example, Thiago Silva, if you isolate him in a one-on-one, maybe playing a high line or a bit more expansive football, you can get at him. Rudiger, for me, I think he's always been solid. Remember when we used to have them conversations about Lovren and Rudiger, and I was like, I'll take Rudiger any day over Lovren. But you want to know something? Rudiger's still very aggressive, though. When you're aggressive, you can get yourself out of position. But playing at that left-sided centre-back kind of does, again, it kind of compensates for that. And on the other side, Aspilicueta, he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, very smart, good footballing IQ. But at the same time, if you're playing in a back two and you want to play a bit more expansive, like playing for Arsenal or Man City, you can get found out because you're likely to be more in prone, like one-on-one situations. So I think they are all good defenders, all of them. Thiago Silva is a legend of the game for me. I think his legacy is crazy. And I think Rudiger's very good. But I would like to see Rudiger in the back two to really give my full like kind of thinking about whether he could hack it at that next level.
You've seen it, Matt, and he wasn't that good. That's what I'm saying. Again, he wasn't that good in the back
well,
four,
I think managers, and again, because the rumor is that he's being looked at by like Real Madrid and whatever. And if he went somewhere like there where they're going to play a bit more expansive and you're playing next to an Albert and a Militao where the system don't really protect them. It's like one-on-one, you got to win your duels, bro. You ain't got no one else covering you. So I do think they're good. And I think with the last thing with Mendy, I think Mendy's still good, man. I think by the end of the season, I think people will still look at him as one of the best goalkeepers in the Prem. And I think if he continues his form that he's been on, and obviously every goalie has a dip, just makes mistakes. I mean, look at our one. But I think Mendy will kind of put himself in that conversation maybe at the end of like next season or something where man can say, he's definitively like world class, or do you know what I mean? Or next season. Because I think you have to let a season play out, so to speak, and see what's going on.
Can I ask you guys a question? You speak about systems and stuff like this, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I don't think Rudiger's average. I actually think he's a very good defender.
I think he's good. I don't think he's average.
But when you say stuff like Thiago Silva playing on a high line and things like that, could you not make those arguments for players like Sami Hyypiä and things like that? And we'd never criticize Sami Hyypiä because he never had the pace to necessarily play on a high line or anything like that. So doesn't the system have to be there to get the best out of the players? And also, if you look at how Rudiger's playing, he's playing well in the system. Like he's doing his job. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say that because they're playing in a 3 that it protects him. Because could you not use the same argument for midfield? Because in midfield they play with a 2. They play with Jorginho and either Kante or Kovacic, whereas we play with a 3. That if someone turned around and said to us, Hendo or Fabinho and Thiago, they're only good because they got 2 other men next to them, we'd be like, no, they're just quality. So isn't it a bit disingenuous to use the same thing for defenders?
I think it's different. No.
I'm gonna come back. Give me 1 sec. I'll let you guys chop out. I'm coming.
Okay. Yeah. What I was gonna say, Jeff, we probably agree with this. When it comes to their back 3, I'm not taking away what they can do in the back 3. I'm just saying it can paper over cracks, and like what Cal just said, it means it's gonna show your advantages to what you have, but your deficiencies that you might have, we might not see them, but we still know they're there. Hence, like different formations, high lines, and whatnot, different tactics you might find wanting. When it comes to the midfield thing, what Kyle was saying, bro, Chelsea, I will say this: Chelsea normally are very good in transition. When they defend in a back 5. When they push up into midfield, those 2 fullbacks push up into the midfield. Which, do you know what I'm trying to say? So they can transition very quickly and very swiftly. So even the midfielders, I still don't even think it's a 2. Reece James don't really play as a defender. He roams around that midfield to / defensive spot. So I think again, Chelsea do very well for the formation that they have, the tactics that they use, and it's obviously to get the best out of everyone and get the best out of everyone's ability. However, we can't ignore that if some players were playing in different teams or different systems, you might see something different from them, and it might be positive or it might be negative. And people can easily throw that at Liverpool players, but we just have to accept that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't think we can sit here and say, I don't know, like put Trent obviously in Leeds' system. Trent might still do wonders, but at the same time, because Leeds are more open, Trent might get overwhelmed and people might not rate him as highly. But right now, he's in a system that brings the best out of him, so to speak. So I agree with that aspect.
Just use another example. Firmino, before Klopp came in, no one really rated Firmino outside of Liverpool. Everyone was like, this is going to be a terrible signing. It's not going to work. Yeah. Klopp came in, changed the system to suit him and got the best out of him. So I think it's really like, and again, look, I'm not even a Chelsea. I don't even rate Chelsea like that. Like they're a good team, but I think it has gone a bit over the top with how they've been rated, in my opinion. But I think it's really disingenuous to discredit players who play in a back 3 or play different systems to sort of the quote unquote norm, and then use that as a way to kind of beat them and not give them their credit. Because again, you look at someone like Maldini's considered one of the best left backs of all time. Maldini's nowadays might not work in the system like Liverpool's, for example. That doesn't mean he's not a great player.
I know what you're trying to say, but he's a player that I think would work because he was athletic. He would put the way Maldini can read the game. He's on another level compared to a lot of.
No, but you get where I'm coming from, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But what
I think it's really unfair. Not saying you guys are wrong, but I think it's unfair to say Rudiger might not be that guy because he's playing in a back 3, when you could argue that Matip, for example, playing in Rudiger's position, might not do very well.
That's very true.
No, but here's where I think it's different. Here's where I think it's different, because the original example you gave was the Thiago and the Hyypiä thing, which I agree with in terms of Hyypiä would definitely be caught out in a high line, and it wouldn't make him look like he was as good of a defender as he is. But I think a high line is a completely unique tactic within a formation. You can play 3, 5, 8 defenders. High line is about the individual coach and what he wants. And that is a lot easier to give a blight to for somebody than it is for an actual formation. So everyone knows Thiago Silva at his age now shouldn't be playing a high line, but he could have easily played a high line in his 20s. He's one of the best centre-backs we've ever seen. Forget about the fact that he is old now and he's done it.
Oh, yeah, bro.
If you go back and look at the AC Milan peak Thiago, he was one of the best centre-backs we've ever seen. He's one of the best centre-backs of our generation, hands down. Fact.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
So he could have played high line. He's just old now, so that's why he can't play the high line.
Sorry,
so I don't really judge him for that.
I just want to stick on this point with the high line. This is another thing I wanted to kind of really pick at. everyone seems to think that playing in the high line just means you have to have pace, because
It definitely helps.
No, it helps, but everyone kind of assumes that all that's going to happen is the ball gets knocked over the top and you got to sprint all the way back. Now, I'm not saying you guys said. I'm saying that's the assumption. A lot of the time, playing in a high line means you have to be able to read the game well. Gomez and Konate have got fantastic pace. They're playing a high line and they get caught out because they don't read the game as well as Matip and Virgil do, regardless of their pace.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
I think it's a bit disingenuous to say Thiago Silva couldn't play a high line, because dare I say it, he reads the game better than 95% of the defenders or centre backs in the Premier League right now.
It's just his body can't react.
Well, I'm only saying that.
No, joking.
I'm only saying that because Lampard played a high line and he was looking kind of dead.
Lampard.
No, but we got to be real though. He was getting caught out. He was falling over. People were running behind.
To be fair, he had one bad game. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, one bad game. It's just that you saw.
Anyway,
manager,
you can see how you can get at him though. By Lampard playing that style, you can get at him.
So anyway, the point about the three at the back though is three at the back is a protective system, in my opinion. It's all down to individual perspective or whatever, but I think even if you ask professional coaches, the back three is a protective system, and it's like you're safer in numbers. That's what the kind of situation is for it. You play a back five when you defend, and then when you're attacking, you still got the three man who are there, and if one man makes a mistake, two man can back him up. You cover more space across the box, and you don't have to do as much, where's my partner, as you do when it's just two of you, because you know if you make a mistake, there'll be two other men. Whereas if it's in a two, you make a mistake, you might be done. That might be it. Like the other guy could be out of position and you're done. So where back three, I feel it's easier to judge a player in terms of like, and a back two is a lot more like, no, he's 30. Is you don't have that protection in a back three, in a back two like you do in a back three. And when you got someone rash like Rudiger, because that's the reason why David Luiz looks so brilliant in a back three, but not a back two. There's not one time he's ever played a back three and he didn't look world class. We have to be honest, whether it was at Chelsea or even at Arsenal. He looked quality in a back three, but as soon as you put him in a two...
Arsenal, I'll give you Chelsea. No,
when he was at Arsenal, he still looked good in the three. Anytime the manager went to a three, he still looked good. He did. He did.
He looked good against poor teams. This is Arsenal.
But let's not do the here nor there. Let's just do the formation. Yeah, forget who the opposition was just for a second. He was always looking good and not being a liability in a back three. And then anytime he was in a back two, he was a liability. He's getting cards, getting sent off, giving away penalties. He was all over the place because he was protected in that three. And he had two men either side of him, and he was allowed to be a lot less worried about defending. If he pushed into midfield to start playing balls and pass the ball around because he was good at that, two men were in behind him. He didn't get caught out. He didn't have to worry as much. And I feel like Rudiger, with his aggressiveness and all that, when he pushes out and he makes those runs and he does all that, he's got the comfort of two men. Lovren, in my opinion, you lot don't rate him, and I do, but I think in a back three, Lovren would have looked way better than he did in the back two.
He would.
Because he would have been, if he was rash, he would have had the protection of the other players.
Not world class, but better.
We saw him in a back three and it didn't work out well for him.
I never remember seeing him. You'll have to jog my memory. I don't remember him in a back.
He played a back three for most of the 14-15 season.
He did, actually. When Brendan, again, trying to cover up.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It was
remember.
Emre Can, Skirtle, and Lovren as the back three.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was.
They didn't look good. They didn't look good defensively. So, again, this is what I'm trying to say. You can play.
No, but then again, listen to what you just said, though, bro. There's man in there who aren't even centre back. So then there's also like context to that. Like Emre Can ain't no centre back. Why is he playing there? Like
Chalobah, for example, ain't a natural centre back. He's a DM / centre midfielder. And Emre Can.
I'm just saying to the whole thing of like why maybe Lovren didn't look as good. Maybe if you'd have put Lovren in there with two actual centre backs, it would have been different. But the point I'm just making is a back three definitely protects a defender more than a back two. It leaves you less exposed, and it can cover up deficiencies, like Matt said, where you might have a rashness about your game, or you might have you always got a tendency to go to ground, or you're not as good intelligently. And there's little things that you can be in your game. But if there's three of you, and remember, when you play a back three as well, the two in front normally sit quite deep. They very rarely just duck out and leave the three, because it's normally a five, but the five's actually a narrow five. So it's the two that sit in front and then the three. It can change, obviously, but that's normally how it is.
Chelsea don't
Especially
do
when you've got Kante as one of the guys who's always making sure he's helping to shield Jorginho, always helping shield. That Chelsea mid is very solid in there of four
but
to
they
five
don't
of them in that central bit defended. It's easy to look great in that system if you lot are
them
all
man don't
decent
play
footballers.
deep. They don't play deep.
No, they don't play deep, but they're very defense minded. They are thinking defensively a lot. They're not gung ho and up the pitch and you're getting exposed and there's all this spacing behind and all that. It's very rare that Chelsea have like loads of gaps between their midfield
If
and
you watch
defense.
Kante play for 90 minutes, bro, you'd be surprised how often he's in and around the opposition's.
Yeah, but then Jorginho will always be there, or Loftus-Cheek will always be there, or Kovacic will always be there. They're never exposed. It's not like, boom, there's just this open gap in midfield and there's just nobody. Jorginho's always there. Jorginho very rarely goes forward.
Can you say that with Fabinho and Henderson? They're usually...
But we play a two, though. So that's natural. You expect that because you can't just leave two men on their own. You know what I mean? If we played a back three, I don't even think he'd probably play for Fabinho. I probably think he would go more attack-minded. But that's because he's an attacking coach, Klopp.
Effectively, as you said, Chelsea defend with three centre-backs and then one holding, which is usually Jorginho. But arguably, Liverpool defend with four as well. It's just that we have 2 and 2 as opposed to 3 and 1. So
yeah, but our midfield, we're a more attacking team for a start.
I was gonna say, do you know what it is as well, Carl? What makes a big difference is, for me, it's about the transitions. Yeah. So, in my opinion, when Chelsea are in a transition from a defensive point of view, they're very quick to like close any space and be very compact. Whereas we like to take a bit more risk, and we're still a little bit what's the word I'd say? We're still a little bit like expansive. So like even when we're defending, the positions of how we defend are going to be probably higher than Chelsea's, and we're going to leave a lot more gaps because we're basically banking on setting a trap for you. If you play a bad ball or we set a trap or we counter, we're halfway up the pitch. Remember, I think even Pep said that the other day when he was like, "Yeah, we can't attack as far as Liverpool. That they are the specialists," and it's true because when you watch the transitions, our transitions are mad compared to other teams. It might not necessarily obviously be the best all the time.
We've got the quickest. Hands down with the quickest transition.
We've got the fastest from getting just from A to B. Think about it. This is how fast it can be. A move breaks down. Trent gets the ball, smash it to Mane. We're already 3/4 up the pitch. And then Jota's making, and we're on your doorstep. You know, like it's actually kind of mad when you think about it, the way how we move. But the thing is that it comes with risks. That's the thing. Every formation and tactic come with risk. But yeah, that's what I think.
Just to finish it up of how I will put it to be easy to understand if like somebody's not truly familiar with what we're talking about. I feel like Chelsea, for example, they defend in a system, we defend as individuals. And I don't mean that like we're all over the place. We do a lot of one-on-one defending in our team, a lot. Trent's always isolated one-on-one with their winger. They're normally an attacker is always one-on-one with one of our centre-backs. We do a lot of individual defending, whereas Chelsea do a lot of system defending. Very rarely do you get to just square one man up at Chelsea and it's just duppy him and I've got a shot at goal. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like that's maybe the easier way to look at how the two differences are. Do you know what I mean? We do a lot. We're always saying, somebody help Trent, somebody help Robbo, because they're always doing one-on-one defending, which is why they're so good. It's why we rate Robbo so highly, because he's very rarely got backup. He's always just against the right winger, one-on-one. He's got to stop him on his own. There's nobody bailing him out. There's no one helping him. It's, right, Robbo, you've got to stop that guy. And it's why when Milner plays, we're like, you, man, I don't like the idea of Zaha just isolating Milner all game, you know, because Milner's going to be isolated one-on-one against Zaha all game, which he has done every bloody time we play.
And to be fair, he's actually done all right somehow. I don't even know how, bro.
Very true, very true. Guys, let us know your comments and your thoughts on this, and we're going to move on to the next topic. Right, this should be a short segment. No January signings expected, according to the Echo. Are we surprised?
Boy,
I mean, I'm actually gobsmacked. You know what
It was a rhetorical, you man. Still, it was a rhetorical. I needed
just,
it.
no, no one just knew what to say.
You're just looking down the camera. That's just on
I'm
this.
trying to find the words. You know what it is, bro? Because it's like, all right, other than Van Dyke and Minamino, I don't think we've done any like significant business. And you know what I mean? When I say that, I'm not talking about like a youth man go out or whatever. I'm talking about significant business, yeah?
Are you talking about under Klopp, you mean?
Yeah, under Klopp, yeah. Can you think of any other? Because remember, even when we got the defenders, they would remember the nominal fees and all the you see what I'm trying to say? It wasn't like
We got Kolka in Klopp's first January on loan. We also bought Grujic, but that was a
I
loan.
didn't want to. Yeah,
that was a buy, and then we had to loan him straight back. Virgil was
Naby, but we sent him back.
No, that was a summer signing.
Was it the summer? Was it not January we did that?
No,
it was. You're right, because it was when we thought we was going to get Lamar as well, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, Lamar.
Wow.
So, yeah, Klopp came in 15-16, didn't sign anyone 15-16. 16-17, that was when Mane went to Afcon, didn't sign anyone. 17-18 was Virgil. 18-19, no one. 19-20, Minamino. 20-21 was Kabak and Ben Davies.
We shouldn't even really count the Van Dijk one as well, because that was planned and thought out and known about, and we only fucked up and just had to wait. So it wasn't like the club did a bad boy thing of like, you know what, let's just pull our madness off. We know now that whole time from when we got caught on the beach, we were trying to figure out how we could still get it done, innit? You know what I mean? So even that January when the Van Dijk should have been done in the summer, we just messed up. So let's not even give them the credit that they went and fixed the problem in January. They didn't.
No. I disagree with that one. If you mess up,
bro, they shouldn't have messed up in the first place.
No, we're humans, Drift. Like, you can't have life without mistakes, bro. But if you rectify your mistakes, then you rectify it.
Yeah. You to an extent, I hear what you're saying, but bro, that was such a fuck up. Like, but we got caught taking, man. Like, come on, man. Like, we took him to the beach, bro, and like,
but bro, let's not
walked him down the Sunset Beach, bro. But man, like, it ain't like the silhouette of Klopp and Van Dijk ain't so distinctive. Man weren't gonna know. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
The grease back ponytail. Man saw the grease back ponytail this way.
And the cap with the glasses. Come on, that's the most distinctive silhouette you could ever see in your life.
Laugh. You know, Klopp's got that distinctive laugh as well. Like, ha ha ha, yeah, ha ha ha, yeah. That distinctive laugh, boy.
But no, all jokes aside, I mean, I'm not surprised that we're not going to be getting anyone. Again, I say I don't think we're going to be getting anyone. Anything can happen. I don't think we will get anyone. If we are going to sign someone, it won't be expensive. There's always going to be a premium you pay in January, usually, especially if you're buying from another Premier League team, as we found out of Andy Carroll. If there is one player who I think is attainable this January that I think would bolster the squad, not just for January, but for going forward, it would be Dennis Zakaria.
Okay.
I think, again, not my first choice for another centre midfielder. Basuma is my first choice, but Basuma has not looked right since the whole allegation.
I agree.
He don't look right at all, and I don't know if we really want to be getting
performance-wise. I think he's still played quite well.
He's kind of, you can tell, and again, obviously,
somewhere else. But he hasn't been terrible.
No, he's not been terrible.
No, but you can tell like something like he can do more. Like when you think about what happened or what he was doing, like performance-wise before all the stuff came out, and you look at him now, you could arguably look at the two and be like, yeah, because one he just looks mad inconsistent. Some games he's on it, in other games he's like he's there, but he's not there, fam. And obviously,
could that have coincided with Brighton's poor dip in form though? Because as a team, they really did dip in form. I think yesterday is their first win for like.
A key
he's
player,
the glue for them, bro.
I hear that.
Pemwu, who's been playing better than him this season, and he's not a better player than Basuma. So
as long as he's innocent, I will still take him 100%.
Of course,
of course, though. But
we don't know, innit?
We just need to get that just needs to get sorted before you know what I mean.
If we were to ever make a move, we'd have to know categorically that he's definitively 100% innocent. Yeah. There's going to be no blowback after as well. So
let me just ask you a little question. I know we've already kind of said, no, we don't think we will sign anyone. But for anybody who thinks, no, do you know what? It's possible. Because I know there are some true believers. We went into a January with half a squad, knowing most won't even be back. And FSG didn't move until the 31st or 30th or whatever it was that they finally made the move. We have the fittest squad we've had for how many years did you say, Caldi, like earlier on today in the preview? 3 years, was it you said? This is the fittest squad we've had.
Probably the fittest squad since the end of the 1920 season.
Yeah, they haven't even gone into the room that they go into to talk about transfers. I know that there's a special room at the Liverpool training ground or whatever it is where they'll be like, all right, we're talking transfers. Let's go in this room, whatever this room is. The door's locked. The bolt's on it, signs down, done. They ain't even considering it. Not even considering it.
Fingerprint recognition. It's
Yeah.
only J.W. Henry's finger that works as well.
Yeah, and he's in America.
And it's
not
his pinky
even...
finger, not even the index, it's the pinky. It goes like that.
What's this, the pinky?
They're not even considering.
And then he has to speak into the microphone. Yeah! Like that. That's how he gets access. He goes, yeah! And then he's in. So I personally don't think we'll sign anyone. If it happens, hey, look, I'll be over the moon, depending on who it is. Just don't see it happening. We do have a space in the squad because obviously we sold Zakaria, we let Genie's contract wind down. Just don't see it happening. Matt, anything you want to add, or we'll move on?
No, it ain't happening, man. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing no shopping, no nothing. Just sit back and watch other people spend money.
Especially the teams who we're competing with. I've got a feeling that they're going to address the left-back situation at Chelsea. I've got a feeling they're going to get a DM at United. There's a possibility that City might try and get a forward, a striker. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but there's a possibility. And we're just going to sit back and we're going to... I mean, even Arsenal, I'm not going to lie, them. I don't want to hear anything about money anymore from Arsenal because there's even rumours Arsenal are going to buy a striker with the whole Aubameyang situation. Yeah. Like, everyone looks like they're going to go out. And the wickedest thing is, if you really deep it, how can Tottenham, we know they're going to spend money. Conte might not go as big as he will in the summer, but he's going to want one or two to make sure he can go on a charge to get Europe.
Yeah.
How can we, in good conscience, knowing that we have one or two positions in our team that are a bit weak, how do they justify not doing anything? Like, I really don't even know how, because you know there's a lie you can tell and there's a way you can try and convince people, but then when something is just obvious, it's just obvious. Do you get what I mean? So, like, if I come around your house and there's no carpet down and you're like, do you know, we're decorating. I'll be like, okay, cool. Now that makes sense. What's the point in putting carpet down when you're going to decorate? You're going to get the carpet dirty, wait till you've decorated, and then you put the carpet down. But if I come around your house a year later and you've fully decorated and you've even got furniture in the house now that's heavy, that's going to be difficult to move, and there's still no carpet, now I'm going to be like, no, bro, why isn't there no carpet down, bro? This don't make no sense. How did you convince me of why there's no carpet down now, bro? You can't convince me anymore. Either you're lazy or you're broke. There's no other reason why you've got no carpet down now, bro. So how do these guys keep on feeling that they can keep on giving us like, this and that? No, you can't convince us anymore. We got gaping holes in our squad and you're just not doing anything about it, man.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what plays into FSG's hands?
I'm not going to lie. We keep on saying FSG. I'm not going to lie. Klopp's
all right, then. All right. Let me say this, though. But let's say, all right, we'll put both. In fact, we'll put both in the same category. Let's just say Liverpool. What plays into the business's hands? And I say the business, yeah. Last season, as you said, Klopp was screaming for a centre back. Didn't get them. He got two of them that he didn't really want. He had to do with the best he could, but he was able to get top three, seen as another like miracle worker, so to speak. Yeah, and it was, to be fair, because you know you think about the players we had missing and ready to tell what we had to do. No, Virgil, it was crazy. Got to third. They said, "All right, we'll apologize. You didn't get a centre back. We'll give you one now." Klopp then comes out and says, happy with the squad, rare-tear-tear. You know, we got youngsters, you know, Gini Adams gone, but, you know, you look at Harvey at rare-tear-tear. Don't make it any easier. Then on top of that, even with the whole virus going on, we're sitting in second place and we're still in the title race. So it's like, because we're still doing well, even with the problems we've had, you kind of know they're not going to go shopping. If they didn't go shopping before, when we were close to just like falling off the map. So there you go.
For me, Klopp's on the boat with FSG, man. When it comes to the whole spending and bolstering the squad, I've got to put him in that category now.
I have to start agreeing. I don't think you would put up with it for this long if you didn't agree with it. I have to be honest, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, he's in that boat as well. Going to get through a couple of super chats until
Harvey Elliott's back in it, so he's probably thinking, yeah, there you go, another player.
Yeah. Shout out to Kadir. Sorry, Khalid Hussein. FIFA to cap agent fees to 10% on transfers and 3% to contract renewals. Excellent stuff. Kadir says Maguire looks good in the back three at England. Again, rubbish opposition. It's the better teams. He's just rubbish. Maguire's just rubbish. Sport Guru says if Matt was partnered with VVD at the back every game, would be you're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best. Literally would be. Shout out to brother Lakers, he's just become a YouTube member. Shout out to yourself, Lakers, and thanks for becoming a member. If you want to become a member as well, people, do click the link in the YouTube description. You can become a member there. You get exclusive videos and much, much more. Ronaldinho Goat says Salah might leave because of no ambition, not wages. I think it would be both. I don't think it would be just one or the other. I think it would be down to both if he were to leave, but I can't even get my head around Salah leaving. That would break me kind of bad. I'm not going to lie. That one would hurt a lot. Rahil says our keeper, defenders, and Fabinho are the most exposed. This is why all six of them are the best in the world in their positions. Other than Silva, Chelsea's defenders individually are okay. That's it. Fair point.
I agree with that.
I think better than okay,
no, and Kante's special.
Yeah. Ahmad says LFC make a signing. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth is my grand. Big up Ahmad as always. Ason says we're signing new kitmen in January. Champions League incoming. I hope we do get the Champions League. I want the league and the Champions League. I want the quadruple. Rahil says this is why I always say imagine if we played three at the back, Trent and Costas as wing backs, Fab, Thiago in midfield, Salah, Jota, Rafinha up top. We'd be unstoppable. You know, speak about Rafinha because he's definitely not our player. Doesn't look like he's going to become our player either. Ronaldinho Goat says, see Kabak at Norwich. FSG subjected us to a lot. Yeah, I don't want to pile on Kabak, but yeah, less said the better. Tahir says, imagine Liverpool announced Salah contract in Jan. That's kind of what I'm expecting, to be honest. LFC Aaron says, remember Alex Teixeira? I do. Shakhtar.
Is he still in China, Teixeira?
No idea. That was one of the players that we seemed really high on and didn't happen. We signed Henderson in Jan 2021. Embarrassing. He did his renewal in the summer. Jamie Phillips, shout out to Jamie Phillips Football Chats. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. Personally, I don't think we need anyone in Jan, and it's a myth. LFC don't spend on players. I will tell you more next call-in. Okay, looking forward to that, Jamie.
I think Jamie and Jamrock are in cahoots.
Jamrock says, has anyone read the PSG article, them having to sell? No, not heard of this, Jamrock. PSG have to sell.
I mean, they were always going to have to some degree with regards to financial fair play. They're obviously not broke, but they must have to balance the books to some degree. Do you know
I read that wrong. I read that as PSG, the club.
Oh, as in the owners have to sell the club. That would be some madness if that was that.
Yeah, PSG will sell. Like, they've got a bloated squad, but they will be able to do that. Like, someone will buy their players. I don't think they'll have an issue with that. Plus, once they lose Mbappe as well on a free, that will free up loads of wages and money for them as well. Not that they need it free enough, but
That's the part where they were stupid in regards to financial fair play. I totally get wanting to have that front three for a year because it's amazing to have. But to lose 200 million, or was it 170 Real Madrid offered them just before the window shut? That's mad that they walked away from that just from a financial fair play point of view, man.
well, it all depends. If they go and win the Champions League, then no one cares.
To a degree, but then it does affect their like long term in terms of the next few years. Because how do you replace Mbappe without money, Cal?
They have money, Drew.
No, but like what Jammer just said, they're in a position where for financial fair play, they do have to make some sales to make money because they've spent a lot. So how do you replace Mbappe without money?
Like Barcelona just signing Torres for 55 million, but they're $1 billion in debt.
See, I was gonna say, don't make it work.
You want to have this FIFA UEFA
conversation?
I believe that Barcelona are able to get ways around it way more than PSG because they've been doing it for their whole life. Yeah. Barcelona have a mad history of doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's the bet in PSG have a new sponsorship deal soon, bro?
I was just about you, bro.
Jamrock says they have to raise 100 million euros in January.
Can they do
I'll
that?
believe when I see it. I'm not even doubting you, Jamrock. Those are the facts. I'm just saying whether they will have to or not in it.
Let's see what happens. They got a few players if they want to get rid of them. Remember, they got people like Di Maria, Icardi, Draxler. They might even sell Wijnaldum in the summer. They got players if they really want to sell. Yeah, if they really want to.
It's mad, isn't it, when you actually think about the fact that players like Draxler, who at one point was a star,
was seen as
just like in their squad, and no one don't even care he's in their squad.
No one give a damn about Julian Draxler.
That is what you call the forgotten man. My word.
Yep. Ronaldinho Goat says top 3 teams you hate for me is Burnley, United, and Chelsea. For me, it's Chelsea, Everton, and United.
That's what Burnley with Arsenal.
For me, it's Man United, Everton, and who do I hate more, Chelsea or Arsenal? Probably Arsenal because of no disrespect because of the fans, innit? But as a club, no, not so. But yeah, some of the fans.
I don't hate Arsenal, the club. I hate the fans.
It's some of my friends, man. They just it's a bit.
Yeah, shout out to my friends. Even the people I know. Because even though they did, like I think they've kind of known to hold their corner in the last couple of years. But I know if Arsenal came back, they'd be back in my face, and then it would be them again.
Bro, they're going to be back soon once they, once they get back in top 4.
It's the flip-floppy nature of the majority of their fan base that just fully believe that they're in the mud, and then within about 2 or 3 good games, think that they can all of a sudden win something. And it's like, I don't get that level of dramatic. I don't get it. Like it's madness to go that one way, and then when the like Arteta's a genius now. How many times did we hear Arteta out? Like I don't get it. After the Everton game, them men were like looking to string him up. Now all of a sudden he's like this genius.
No, but drift. Let them. It's okay. It's so okay. You know why it's okay? Because I want them to keep Arteta, bro. He might, and to be fair, Arteta might turn out to be very, very good, drift. But you see how things stand right now, why you've got the 2 masters in charge, like Klopp and Guardiola, bro. I am not worried about Arteta, bro.
Oh, I'm not worried about him.
No, but I'm just saying
they are acting like he's this, like, bro, like it's mad, bro. It's actually mad. Like you can't even explain to me how you can be 100% this way and then 100% that way in such a short space of time.
That's what they do.
I don't get it, bro.
I don't
get it, bro.
I done the Spanish tax and the Lego hair. If his name was Michael Anthony, there wouldn't be much of a fuss, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, for real.
Telling you.
No, but they hated him even though he was Miguel.
No, bro. They can't. They were getting annoyed with him because they weren't doing what they thought they should be doing. But now they're doing really well. Big up the Arsenal, man. Big them up still. Big them up. Big them up.
Jamrock says Barca has to sell players to register Torres, but they just have to move one player out of their registration. I don't buy into any of this. They will have to sell and do all these things. We've seen these teams get away with it.
I just read that article just now. They're literally trying to kick Coutinho out the door, and he's not budging.
Well, they'll probably just unregister him, innit?
Yeah, I'll make it mad sticky for him.
LFC Aaron says Arsenal fans are so precious. They are, to be fair. The world's not right without Arsenal fans.
So precious.
Rahil says, how can it be Klopp's fault? Also, we all know we are sell to buy, so no matter if Klopp wants someone or not, we can't buy no one without selling. It's the strategy Klopp can't pull peas out of his backside. I agree with that part, but when Klopp comes out and defends them, then
It's true, though.
I've got to put him in that category. All right, I'm gonna put it this way, yeah. Let's say Matt or Drift did something mad. Let's say, I don't know, them man went and, I don't know, robbed the charity shop. You're like, raw, Matt and Drift, robbed the charity shop.
Raw.
And then I come on here and I'm like, exactly.
Man says Home Alone, you know, them ones there, them low life ones.
Cleaned out the charity
robbing people's houses on Christmas.
And then I came on the stream and was like, I think what they did was justified. They had to do what they had to do. Like, it's just a charity shop. You lot, am I not in that boat with them? Like, am I not being like, raw, that's kind of mad. What, like, if I come out and said it's kind of mad what they did, I don't agree with it. Like, then I'm kind of separated. I'm not saying I want Klopp to throw his toys out of the pram, but when Klopp is there defending the strategy, like, if Klopp doesn't agree, all Klopp has to say is, no, that's something we'll deal with in house. But when he comes out and
all right, I will say this,
and then goes, I'm defending.
That depends what conversation he's had to have before that press conference.
But they ain't got him by the balls like that.
No, they don't. But would you say there were moments when we kind of all sat there and went, how do you pronounce it? Is it would you call it is it facade? You know, like the thing that you're putting on, yeah. But it started to break at one point, because remember when they were like, are you gonna go shopping in January? And he was just like, I don't know. You have to ask the owners. We run differently. You know, we got to. He kind of. Do you remember that bit?
A little bit.
He did, bro. He did. So that says to me, them conversations took place. He was like, "Listen, I need you to get me Ibu now." Then man said, "No, you're dealing with a shadow clone." Shout out all my Naruto fans out there, yeah. Who basically a shadow clone. Everyone knows what that is. Pretty much all of you. And a flipping guy that wanted to get rid of the books from Schalke, who had potential, but we kind of knew was never going to make it. That's what you had to do to work with. So
let me ask you guys a question then. If we have these players, how often? And again, I don't even want to agree with this part of what he says. Like, this is a Jamrock. I don't want to agree with it. But we look at things like rotation. We look at the fact that we have a bigger squad than we've ever had under Klopp. But yet, Robbo is out of form, or Robbo just come back from injury and he's straight back in the team despite how another left back's playing and playing out of his socks. Do you not start to see that like Klopp is a part of this? He might not be fully in bed with these man, but he beats now and again.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, Cal, you have a point. Like, maybe,
I know what you mean.
Maybe he is involved to a degree, Cal. You're right, because
he is.
Yeah, and as I said, I do agree that he does have to start taking some blame massively. I do fully agree, but I do also think Matt is right in terms of Matt saying the facade kind of like was exposed a little bit, because I remember that same window, yeah. There was like, I can't remember, somebody must have asked him something after a really bad result, and they were talking about transfers, and he was like, and he just lost it, and he was like, every time I come in here, you don't want to ask me about transfers. Every time there's a problem, you think buying a player is it? So what happens when I buy these players? And he was properly going off on the person for just asking him whether he was going to make any January signings. And to me, that is the school kid who has just lost it now with being teased about still wearing the same school shoes from last year. And like, he tried to put on a brave face and say, no, man, look, these ain't even mash up. I told my mum, don't buy me no new shoes. These are, and he's been getting teased, and he just loses it and then just bags up the last person who just talked about his shoes. It's like, oh shit, what's going on there? Because he's like, I'm sick of this now. I can't keep defending my parents. I've just got to bad up this shoot now. I'm angry. Like, but that's how Klopp feels to me, bro.
I agree, but last January was an anomaly because he had no centre-backs and still wasn't getting what he wanted. That is fair enough. Like, you expect him to bang out in that situation. But in the summer, we all knew we needed extra players. We all knew we needed reinforcements. And he was more than happy not to have those reinforcements. If you're unhappy about a situation, you don't come out and defend the situation.
You do if you love the people around you. Like I said, I would defend my parents if they couldn't buy me something. Even if I'm being teased, I will still defend them.
That's the thing, Drift. You just said the key phrase. If they can't buy it for you. FSG could front up the money. Liverpool Football Club could
Well.
front up the money, but he was obviously not pushing for that.
Well, sometimes you just know, innit? If you're told no, you just kind of got to know no is no, innit?
Yeah, but we're not dealing with parents here. This is a working relationship.
I hear that.
Like,
I just think
How many times did you ask for Christmas Eve off when you just knew no one was allowed Christmas Eve off? You didn't even bother to ask, innit? Like, you
if I
just know
wanted
it's
it
going to
off,
be
I'm
a no.
If I wanted it off, I'm asking, bro.
No, but if you know you're not allowed to have it off, they're probably going
I
to
get
bag
you.
you up.
Some
and be
people
like,
might
"Look,
not.
You know
some
that.
people
You know
no,
the
but
rules.
you did, Cal. But
still
some
asking.
people might not. Some people might be like, "Well, I've asked for 3 years in a row now. There's no point." Some people can be like that.
Yeah.
Listen, Klopp is. It's tough, man. Because even I kind of agree with what you're saying, Carl. I do think, there's probably elements of the whole we kind of does support. I think this is what Klopp comes across as sometimes. When it's all going well, he's got no problem with it. But when things start to like hit the fan, so to speak, you see the little bit of cracks where he probably feels like, nah, I bought into this year, but there's got to be some wiggle room. I think that's probably where the main problem lies, is that even though he knew what he was signing into, he knows this, yeah. I'm pretty sure there's going to be conversations that he would have had with the top boys at the top here and said, listen, I know we're sell to buy.
Lakers. Big up Lakers. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
bro.
no, facts. What I'm saying, it was, what was Klopp saying?
Right, babe, it's March. You know what? We're 9 months away. Yeah, it's that time. Still.
I'm lit. That's it. Yeah, he's probably thinking the sell to buy thing, like a bit of wiggle room kind of thing. Like, just surely, like, because come on, bro, like he knows the squad, how good everyone is, yeah. And you're telling me he was like, yeah, G1 Adams gone, yeah. And he was integral. He wanted to keep him. He tried to convince him. Sorry, to convince FSG. They said no. And he sat there and went, boy, we got Harvey Elliott, yeah. Like, Bob, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think Klopp does chat some rubbish, though.
I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch it on you, like, yeah.
I love him, but he does chat some rubbish sometimes.
Say, for example, my missus went and sold our car without letting me know, yeah. And she knows that's my main form of transport. And you man are like, well, how come you sold the car and you didn't replace it? And I just go, yeah, well, bruv, what do I need the car for? I can get on a bus, I can walk, I can cycle. I wanted to get back in shape. I can run there. Like, wouldn't you be like, oh, Cal's obviously on board with it? Whereas if I turn around and said
I'd turn to Matt and be like, she's clearly in the room. We'll have to talk to him another time.
Yeah. Or I say to Drift, Drift would say that. It's how that or be like, oh, I think Cal is tapped, bro. Like, what is going on? Like, see, because you're very sensible. So for you to say that, I'd be thinking, what?
All right, but that's my point.
I get you trying to say though. Yeah.
You wouldn't hear me defending that decision, would you? You'd be like, raw, Cal's not happy about that, or
No. But here's the wicked thing, Cal. You wouldn't maybe defend it to us who are part of the circle, but to outsiders, you would never make your wife look like an idiot. So you probably would. Do you get what I mean? You probably would. You probably would defend it, bro.
There's ways of saying stuff about making someone look like an idiot.
No, that's true. That's true as well.
Yeah, I hear that. But you would want to make your wife look as non-stupid as possible, though. Do you get what I mean? So you would probably just back it all the way, bro. Like you'd probably just literally just back it all the way, and you probably would be like, I can get a bus and get the train. I'm good.
He beats up FSG a lot as well. He does. He bigs them up a lot.
No, but that's his employer. Listen, remember when I said to you before?
Big him up. I don't know if I've ever heard.
No, he does.
No, just remind me, because I don't remember him bigging them up.
Because he'll say things like, I don't know, like we have an amazing. Like
amazing owners and
owners who do a lot for the club and
as much as the fans.
Oh, what you mean generic things like what loads of people?
Oh, he still says it, Drift.
To be fair, he kind of has to though.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
But he can't fight. He can't fight with them publicly. What's that going to do for us?
When no one's asking the questions, but you still go out your way to say it. Come on now.
Maybe he was in a good mood that day.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I think
packed the team in 3-0 the day before, and he's in a good mood.
I think Klopp really respects them because I think he feels they've done a lot for him. But at the same time,
I don't like the narrative that he gets away with everything. Is always
no, he doesn't. Like the squad. Remember, because I was saying before the whole squad issue thing, bro. You could have applied more pressure maybe to FSG or just said the truth. You can't come out here and say, you're happy with the squad, and then 2 minutes later, there's too many games. I ain't got the squad in it. Like, come on, bro, which one is it kind of thing? But I do genuinely believe, though, he signed the contract and he said, listen, I'm willing to work with these conditions, and probably thought 5 years into the thing, there must be some wiggle room here. Like if he just randomly walked up on a Monday and just said to J Dubs, called him and just went, yo, bro, like we need a centre mid, innit? Like Gini Adams gone. I didn't want to have this conversation earlier on, but I think it's about time we have it. Is there anything you can do? But he probably just gets shut down all the time and probably just has to go along with it. There's going to be times when you see the cracks, though, because I've seen the cracks, like what Minja was saying. There's times you see it, bro. You don't want to be asked about transfers sometimes because it's almost like he's annoyed at something that we will probably never know. Like it might be one of them things, innit? I don't know. Like you can just see graps on him. I don't know whether it's because he feels the answer to everything isn't just transfers. Like you can coach players, but yeah, everyone's a great coach. But even some of the greatest coaches, like you need to sometimes bring a new influx of blood in it to the camp. So, and every manager knows that. Every manager knows you have to strengthen the next season because even if you feel like you're good, everyone else around you is going to improve, and you need to try and still keep that step.
Cal, do you want to know one of the main reasons why? And again, I back you on this. Klopp does have to start taking some responsibility. So I'm not even arguing against you because I don't agree with it. But the point I'm trying to make of why I still think he can be like putting on a facade or lying about certain things is look how long he acted like we did not need a left back. So if that was true, why did we go and get such a good left back when we finally got one? Because he was clearly covering. He was blatantly covering because it weren't like we just brought a kid through the youth team and then it was like, oh, well, we went and got an international top quality left back as cover. And for ages, he acted like we didn't need it. For ages, he covered that we didn't have no left back. So I think that's like a prime example of he can say things, but I don't think he really means what he's saying. He just wants to make sure we're not airing dirty laundry and we don't look like that weird club.
How often is Simicast played?
No, but that's not that's different then, isn't it? I'm talking about having the cover itself, though, bro. Like what he does with it when he gets it, that's another story.
We tried to re-sign Moreno. Don't forget that, bro.
Did we?
Yes, bruv.
When the hell did that happen?
Well, we tried and he said no, bruv. Imagine that.
Oh, you mean when he was here? You mean we tried to give him a new deal? You mean? Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant he left and we tried to bring him back.
No. Bruv, Adrian, we just renewed Adrian's contract for another 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, then.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of feel like Michael Edwards is just looking to just mash up the thing from the inside, fam. Because that don't make no sense. And he's leaving as well. And he's probably going out of Newcastle or Madrid. I don't know what that was all about, fam.
All right, let's move on
inside,
to the next
man.
All right, not going to spend too long on this one. We know there's interest there from Liverpool. We know it from reputable people and reputable sources. Porto have come out apparently and said if anyone is to get Luis Diaz in January, you're going to have to pay his release clause of 80 million euros.
Yeah,
we ain't doing that.
New story.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night. God bless.
But in the summer, they may be more willing to negotiate and deal at between 50 and 60 million euros. I'm going to ask, we all think he's a good player here, so there's no point.
Yeah, of course.
At that price, though, do you think he's worth between 50 and 60 million euros?
Yes. It's about 45 million pounds, right? Yeah, he's worth.
If it's at 50, if it's 60, then you're looking about 55.
Right. Has the exchange rate gone that bad?
No. If it's 60, if it's 60, it's 50.
Around that, then yeah. But either way,
50.
we're looking between, let's say, between 45.
50 million euros would be about what, 45 million pound then, or thereabouts.
So. Let me do it now. So
I would think that was definitely okay.
Luis Diaz. How much did you say, Cal? They would negotiate for potentially
50 to 60 mil euros.
All right.
Start with the lowest, Matt. Just do 50 million so we can get the base fee then.
All right. So if it's 50 million euros, it'll be 42 million pound.
100% he's worth that.
Yeah. And if it's 60 million euros, yeah, I was right. It's 50 million pound.
Okay.
At 42 million, 100% he'd be worth it. 100%.
All right. Well, here's the thing. But there's kind of like a big elephant in the room for this one, which is probably going to coincide with I don't know whether Cal's got it on the agenda, but with Rafinha, or should I not talk about it? All right, let's talk about Diaz.
Right, so we're going to leave that there then. So
all right.
So Matt, so Drifter's already said yes for that
Mm.
price. For that price, Matt, would you be willing to do business? I'm gonna go for the higher end because
Yeah, if I'm gonna be real, if we pay £50 million for Luis Diaz, he's a good player, but I wonder whether we could get someone a bit more accomplished. You know, I'm not gonna front or someone. I don't know, mate.
Let's call it 45 mil to put it down the middle then.
cool.
Let's literally put it
Yeah,
down the
yeah,
middle,
yeah,
call
yeah,
it 45 mil. For 45
He's
mil, would you say Diaz is a good
Do
acquisition?
you know what? He's good. I can't even front. He's good. I think if you think about the market and some of the prices you'd have to pay, you'd have to find a real kind of bargain to find someone probably of his level and for a lot cheaper. As I said, so yeah, maybe I probably would go for him. I would. I wouldn't. I wouldn't snark at it. But I'd always be a bit like, he's good. I just don't know how good he actually is, and I don't want to kind of bring him in now because we'll talk about him later. But I would. I'm not sure if I want someone prem proven or not. I'm not sure, or if I want someone overseas. Like we can just scoop up like Diaz now, and he just bangs out, and he was the right acquisition. So like a bit like Jota.
For 45 mil, I actually think that's the base now for a very good attacker.
It's
But
tough.
for 45 mil, I don't think there's a problem with that price. Like you look at Jota, and I have to use Jota as sort of the base. Jota wasn't getting the plaudits that Diaz is getting when we signed him, and we signed him for 45 mil.
Yeah,
Diaz is playing Champions League football. He's playing at a top league team in
playing
Portugal.
very well this season. Very,
and he's
very well.
playing
This
very
season.
well this season.
And he
Very well.
performs well for Colombia as well.
Exactly.
He does. He's their talisman, bro. He's their guy, bro.
45 mil, I think, is sort of that new 20 mil. Like that for me is the base we should be looking at, in my opinion. So
How much did Fernandez go for again, Cal? Was it 56 mil they paid for him,
56 mil, yeah.
and that's
and
coming
even
from the same league.
Even that was seen as a steal as well, because I think his contract, I don't know if his contract is running down or he had a release clause, but that was seen as a really good value price. And it is. You look what he's done in the league.
Diaz is doing.
Man United, 56 mil is nothing.
Diaz has got 14 goals in 24 appearances overall for Porto. In the league, he's got 12 and 15. And he's a wide man as well. Wide left.
I'm telling you, but you lot know I've been banging on about him for a
No,
while.
he's a good player, bro. I like him.
Good,
I'm just,
man.
yeah.
He's
Thinking
top
whether there's
quality,
someone else
man.
I've
He
forgotten
really
about.
is.
Cool. All right. I'm going to move on to the next topic then, boys. Matt, look away now, bro. Rafinha came out over the weekend. Looks like he's going to be signing for Bayern Munich, which will, if that goes through, it will mean they have Kingsley Coman, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, and Rafinha as their 4 wide / wingers. Now, here's where I will go back and kind of side with stuff that fans have said about Liverpool. And again, Jamrock, before you know what I'm going to say, so no shade at you directly, but I'm just going to say it. When we say stuff like, will these players play? Will they be willing to come in and play second fiddle to someone? There is no guarantee whatsoever that Rafinha goes to Bayern Munich and is a starter. In every likelihood, there is a chance Rafinha goes there and he's 4th choice. So for anyone saying he won't come to Liverpool because he'll be sitting behind Salah, he could sit behind Sané, he could sit behind Coman, and he could sit behind Gnabry. He's choosing to go to Bayern Munich because he backs himself to become that guy, because he backs himself to get enough games, and because he believes in that team. Therefore, when people say we can't sign this player because of that player's hair, this is why I don't buy it.
Or could Rafinha be in a situation where he's not that fussed about which big team he goes to because he doesn't have a preference, but he will pick the team that just shows the most interest because he's all about love and like, okay, so you're showing the love, therefore I feel more appreciated. And the other clubs just ain't made a move and Bayern have. It could be that. Do you get what I mean? And if we did make a move, he would pick us. But because we're not going to make a move, a little bit like the Timo Werner situation, where it was obvious he wanted Liverpool. No one can tell me anything else. He wanted Liverpool.
Yeah.
but he ended up at Chelsea because they were the one who made the most effort.
Facts.
Do you know
And
what I
also,
mean?
Jamrock, I never said that was a direct quote, but I'm saying we've had these conversations before. And you're right, it is down to game time as well. It is. But as we've seen with Jota came in and
Forced his way in.
no one thought that front three was going to get broken. Let's be honest.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna be sick off the bench." I don't think no one really realized like
But Jota's hair
he was
now.
willing to
Jota's
bet on
saying,
himself.
boy, unless your name's Salah, someone's gonna have to sit down for me for the foreseeable because I'm about it and I'm doing what I'm doing.
All
So who's
making
sitting
Klopp
down?
change
Klopp.
formation.
Yeah, he's like Klopp. Who's sitting down because I'm starting?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't care if it's the left or through the middle, but I'm starting. And when you bring me off the bench, no, I'm gonna bag and I'm gonna make your life even more difficult. Those are the type of players I want at Liverpool. And Rafinha, from this move, if this move goes ahead, that is the sort of mentality I want at Liverpool because he's clearly got a mentality where he backs himself at one of the biggest clubs in the world.
100%. And you know the thing is, yeah, obviously talented player and whatnot. For me, I'm quite surprised at the price, but kind of not. So if the reports are to be believed, it's 50 million euros. Yeah, that would make it, as we worked out, 42 million pound. Bro, do you know how cheap that is for Rafinha? But do you want to know something? I do know though, if we went in for him hard like that, we would have to pay that premium most
we'd
likely.
have to pay probably another 10 mil, probably.
Yeah, probably another 10 mil. But do you want to know something? I think he's worth 52 mil. Some people don't think so. I can't remember what people were saying before, but I think he's worth that. I think 50 million pounds, not euros. I'm comfortable with us spending that type of money on Rafinha, knowing what he can do at Leeds. And as you said, I'm looking at Jota as a prime example. Jota was 40, raising to 44 or 45, and Jota was not doing what Rafinha was doing.
Jota was not 40 mil is the base. All right, put it this way, yeah, we've got because we can't just look back in the past and think Andy Carroll. That was what 10 years ago we signed him. Inflation and just the market's changed. Ollie Watkins almost cost what did he cost over 30 mil, I believe. This is no disrespect to Ollie Watkins, but he's not in the same league as Rafinha. You cannot tell me Rafinha's not at least 20 million pounds better than Ollie Watkins, for example.
Sorry, so I don't want to make this a back and thing with Jammer, but I just think, what's Rafinha doing? I don't know, carrying the team on his back every week because I think we can all see when he doesn't play,
back you this one,
they are completely different outfit. He's the star. He's that X Factor player that gives them that confidence to go out there and perform for starters. He's that X Factor player that can make things happen. He's that X Factor player that in another team, I think he would blossom as well into an even greater threat. And sometimes as well, Jammer, you know, like if a player is doing well at one club, you might be right. He might not be able to do it at another club, but sometimes with less pressure, you can actually do more because you don't feel as pressured. Or he might just go into a system, so to speak, like how we say now. Yeah, look at Mahrez for Leicester.
Mahrez was. I don't think he was. I don't think he was saying it in like a controversy. He just does. He doesn't really follow.
Oh, sorry. I thought he meant like. Apologies, Jammer.
Apologies. Say took out the ting and was like you said something.
Apologies, Jammer. I didn't know that. So I didn't know you didn't really watch the ball. Yeah, basically he's balling out, bro. He's balling out. Yeah. But just quickly, Jammer, as well. Do you know how I look at it as? He's a bit like basically Mahrez had the better numbers, yeah, when Mahrez was at Leicester when they won the league, yeah. But you see, Mahrez, I kind of knew that when he left and went to City, I already knew from what I saw he's just gonna be sick. And what's so mad is Mahrez might not start every single game, but he had to kind of work his way in there, like what Jota done at Liverpool. And you can see that's what I think Rafinha would do for us. I think he's hungry enough to want to just like be in that team like Jota, and I think it would benefit us because then we ain't got to have these conversations all the time of, oh, you know what? Yeah, we kind of got to play Salah still because like he's got to play. I'm just giving an example, by the way, or like we can rotate, just rotate. Man.
Is there any part of you lot that feels like Harvey Elliott might be the guy that the club see to be the replacement if Salah's ever not playing? Because there's a part of me that kind of feels like that might be the plan, you know, and I don't know if I'm happy with that.
I don't think so. I think Harvey's definitely going to be playing in the midfield three.
I think
yeah, but if you really deep it though, Cal, how can he play in the middle three, in a situation where if everybody was fit in the midfield, where would he fit in?
But everyone was, most players were fit at the beginning of the season, brother, and he was starting.
No, I feel like that's a little bit different to like where he'll be for the long term, because I think that was more like, I've got to play this kid now because I believe in him and I've got to give him a chance. if everybody was fully fit, though, I still do believe that he would go Henderson or Naby, Thiago, and Fabinho. I don't believe he thinks that Elliot is good enough to dislodge one of those four.
Elliot was dislodging them though, bro.
And like, remember, Thiago wasn't there at the beginning. Henderson wasn't there at the beginning.
If I'm not mistaken, Keita had a full preseason and Keita didn't start ahead of him.
Yeah, but Henderson and Thiago weren't there at the beginning.
No, Keita started with Milner, innit? First game
of the season, he started with Milner, and I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Naby,
no, he started. No, but he started. But I'm saying after that, Elliot was the main guy.
Hendo and Thiago were both missing at that point, though, weren't they?
No, Henderson was still available. Henderson played less.
No, because remember, he was injured at the Euros, and he wasn't fit at the beginning of the season.
He was drift. Henderson played left centre midfield, so Harvey was playing on the right hand side of centre midfield. Harvey was playing.
What, in the opening couple was Henderson? Yes. I thought Henderson missed the beginning of the season.
Elliot forced his way in. Elliot forced into that midfield three.
Who was fit in our midfield there? Who was actually fit in our midfield?
No. I think Henderson might have came back late. I think he came back late, but he was fit. I think Henderson was a little bit behind schedule, though. A little bit.
I'm sure Henderson wasn't here at the beginning.
He was, bro. He played in the Chelsea game.
Naby. The thing is, what? Put like this. The argument is.
Well, Chelsea game was about 4 or 5 games in, though, wasn't it?
I think it might have been
Harvey.
Or something.
Harvey was like start season off like, but put like this. It looked like from training we always planned to use him in that midfield three, and he was seen as something to change the way how we kind of play, so to speak, or at least another option. That's what it looked like to me, because it's like banging him like the kids is playing, putting in great performances. I didn't see a situation where he was going to be dropped, other than Klopp just wants to give him a little bit of a rest. I think he kind of forced his way. A bit like Jota, and was just like, you got to play me, bro. Like, you have to play me. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it looked like that from the outside anyway. But
so back to the question, guys. If Rafinha's not an option, and he was your first option for you two, and my second option for that right-hand side, who would you guys now go for?
Anthony.
I'm doing the Klopp. I'm doing a Klopp. I'm holding off until I find the perfect person. I'm holding off.
So who would be the perfect person? Because you're not going to
hold on, Matt. You'd go another year without having no Salah cover.
I don't know. I don't want to waste the money, bro.
Right.
You know why?
Building.
No, I just don't want to waste it. Because imagine if we do a panic buy and the person
do a loan.
Like,
no, but Matt, you've always got to have a third and a fourth choice, bro. It cannot
Ben
be
Davies.
Rafinha goes and then we're just done. And
Ben, let me remind you, Ben Davies. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy someone.
If Rafinha was first choice, bro, we'd be getting involved. We have to keep it a buck. Rafinha's clearly not even on the radar, bro. Because we would not just let him go by Munich for 42 million.
There. You just don't want to. We don't want to pay the money, bro. Like, he's there.
Well, there you go then. There you go then, bro. How on earth can we even go?
So we got to be careful. What I'm trying to say is, if we're gonna get someone that's gonna be that Jota-esque signing, we got to make sure we know who it is. We got to do our due diligence, because. One thing I don't want us to do, and people are going to comment me for this, but I just don't want us to do like I'm going to get hurt for this, but I'm going to take it on the chin. I don't want us to do like a tacky situation, bro, where man's kind of like it's good. No. And don't get me wrong, Taki wasn't brought in. I don't even know what. I don't know what Taki was brought in for. Where was he going to play? Not disrespect, but you know what I'm trying to say though. Like the lesser player, like
I'm not taking.
But maybe the standards are so high for Jota.
What about the guy that is clearly obvious that we probably would actually maybe try and go for, and that's Cal's guy, Jared Bowen. What if he's the one that we're
hold on, can we stop, Drift? I see what you did there.
Everyone's gonna come at me for this. I'm not hating on Taki. I'm just saying we need someone to make it. Guys, can I just?
You're the one who would back the signing, should I say?
Sorry, guys. Can I just clarify? Because I think the people are gonna start like when I say,
Matt, this was coming, bro.
No, I'll just say
you
this.
knew that was gonna happen.
Let me clarify what I'm trying to say. If we're gonna buy someone, I would like them to have the impact that Jota had compared to the impact with Minamino. So take away the name. Actually, just take away the name. There's no names in it. But you see, you got player A and player B. There's a difference. So that's what I'm trying to say, people. I didn't want to be. I was trying to think of someone who we signed recently, who maybe hasn't had the impact that we would like him to have. And I think that's a bit unfair for you guys to have a go at me if you think Minamino's hit the ground running and done an amazing job like what Jota. That's all I'm trying to say, people.
We're in a
If you
cup
can't accept
semi-final
that,
because
then
of
why?
Minamino.
We can't help you, you know. Can't help you.
We're in a cup semi-final because of Minamino, man.
Oh, you sure that wasn't Divock?
It was both. Remember, I told you, I think the two of them could carry us to a title.
They didn't carry us.
They
to
didn't
semi-final,
carry,
though,
bro.
because Jota had to get involved. Kate had to get involved.
Massive didn't-
Milner had to
Yeah.
get involved.
Obviously, they haven't literally been the only reason, but they've been a massive part of it. I think they've both got 3 or 4 goals each in the League Cup, right? A couple of assists maybe as well. Like, I think the two of them have been very integral to us being in the semi-final. So I think Taki does have to have a little bit of
thing.
You know?
You know what I'm trying to say, though, right? Like, I'm talking about impact.
Yeah, I do get what
I know
you're
people are going to come at me for it, but I'm just being real with it, man. Just impact, not names, just impact. Like,
we need a Simicast and we need a Jota. We don't need a guy who's going to be like floating around and not too sure. We need a guy who's not going to separate the fan base, basically. If you ask anybody in the fan base about Simicast,
what do you think of Jota,
good
or
player.
what do you think of?
Or what do you think? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I get it.
And I'm not even being disrespectful, people. I'm just calling it, you know, how I see it. But doesn't mean I say I don't like Minamino.
We don't need any more Takis and any more Nikos where it's a real split down the middle of whether people like him or not. You know, we need guaranteed, yep, we like him. Boom, boom, boom.
Fair enough. Right, guys. As you know, our Christmas special came out yesterday.
Christmas.
For everyone who's watched it, it's had good feedback. If you haven't watched it, please do watch it. And here's a little something to whet the appetite if you've not seen it.
Listen, wait, don't mess up. Nah, you're the best anyway. You're the best. All right.
Sharp. Sin. That's enough.
What the fuck, man?
Yes, man. Oh, my bad.
Oh, so you enjoy it.
This is 5, right?
No, this is 4.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Shot! Oh, Jesus.
I think you're in.
No, you're in, you know.
Oh! What are we saying? What are we saying?
Matt could be back in.
What? Hole in one. First of the day.
To not take the piss, I'll probably say that's probably
This is
about.
what we're going to do now. We might as well put the barriers up like we're bowling as well, innit?
Well, if you do, what, do you disagree?
Is this what we're doing?
What, do you want it to go back?
I'm
Do you
joking,
disagree?
I'm joking.
No, because we have to agree.
It's fine.
I'm not gonna lie. When I watched that back and I saw you point at the whole mat and start laughing, it hurts. It really did hurt. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that is out now, people. So make sure you watch that if you haven't already. And you know, if you've watched it, bloody well watch it again because it was a good laugh. Gonna get through some of these super chats before we do the last 2 topics. Jamrock says Barca got a loan of 525 million euros from Goldman Sachs. This is what I mean.
What?
These teams will find a way around it. Rahil says, Cal, in Jan, Klopp literally said the owners promised him a centre back, but they stopped it. He was crying out for one. The only time he called them out, come on. Exactly, he called them out that time. So that time I can back him. The other times he's not, bro. And again, I'm not even like Klopp out or anything like that. You guys know my thoughts on the owners. I think they are the biggest problem, but for me, Klopp also has to be addressed in this situation as well. Like that time, we could come out as a fan base and back Klopp because he made it clear. Without throwing his toys out the pram, he made it clear. That's all I want him to do. If it's him, I'm safe. Jamrock says Klopp could say sure the squad could use some freshening up, but the squad that I have is more than capable. That right there will suggest that. Yeah, you could say it like that. I think Pep comes out and says things like this all the time. Like the other day, he said, well, it was obvious we didn't sign a striker last summer or this summer. With the club is going to have to get one day. That says everything you need to know. That says we need a striker, owners. I'm Pep Guardiola. Bring some names forward, or here's my name. Go and get them.
Pep said that City couldn't afford a striker. And then 3 weeks later, they paid 100 mil for Grealish. And then a week after that, they made a Harry Kane offer of 110 million. Yeah, so we all know that, you know,
but
people say things.
We know what Pep's on, though. More than you can believe. Jamrock says, Let me one sec. John Silver says, Matt, can you do the Kane impression again, please?
Oh, I can't. I'm under the weather, fam. If I do that,
We'll save that for another show. We'll save that for
yeah. I'll try to do it later in the week, though.
LFT Sports TV says, I agree. We'll talk how I'm not even sure what that was regarding anymore.
It must be to do with the clock.
Must be the clock thing. Rahil says, Cow's drinking that FSG Kool-Aid, that Henry persona penetrated him, or Jamrock has done a spell on him. Nah, it's not even that, bro. I'm just not gonna just bash them.
You've gone too deep into the character.
Nah, I'm just not gonna let.
You've done a Heath Ledger, bro. Man's just become the Joker for real, bro.
Nah, I just think it's just got to be a case of. I think everyone's got to be held accountable. Michael Edwards has to be held accountable as well. If it's his job to sell players to get money in for the club, and you're hanging on to players for an extra year when their values are diminishing because you're being arrogant in not taking the price that you're offered, then that's on you. I'm happy
he did it though.
Are you happy he did it with Divock? But Harry Wilson, for example, how did that work out for us?
Yeah, I hear that. No, I reckon he would have got the money for Wilson without the pandemic, though, if I'm being honest.
But he still could have got more than he got in the summer last season. Just to confirm, no, I'm not FSG in. No.
Boy. People like it's mad, isn't it? Like you say one thing and you're not bashing the pause, but I've
been on there for years, like dragging the owners. I have one show where I say let's look at Klopp as well. I'm not even backing the owners, by the way. I'm saying let's look at Klopp as well. And now I'm seen as the FSG. I'm seen as a.
I say that to me as well, man. It's mad. That's our fan base, you know. That's our fan base, bro.
Mr. Dare say Drift says so. FSG is trying to sell us that this sell to buy model is barely keeping us to live from paycheck to paycheck, i.e., revenue, but every other team don't. That I agree with. Fully agree with that. But a lot of people
always been confused about that. Always been confused about that.
Ason says Liverpool moving like sidemen at the club once again. Yeah. Jamrock says Coman's contract is up this year and Gnabry has 1 year left. Gnabry signs, I wouldn't be surprised if they sold Coman or let Coman's contract run down and then
one of them might go because they still got Sane.
I'm surprised the table didn't rise a little bit there when Cal said Gnabry's only got 1 year left.
Nah, because he's staying at Bayern, man.
Well, you don't think if Liverpool put in a bid that it might be possible?
Don't.
What if Rafinha go in there made him think he wanted a new challenge?
Bro, my little one's only 5 months old. I can't put another bun in the oven, bro. Too soon. James Anderson says, "Happy Christmas, my G's. If FSG had any sense, we'd get Rafinha and Haaland. That's why I'm FSG out. Plus, hole in one Matt was lit. One love, Kopish. Big up to yourself.
Big up, bro.
Merry Christmas, bro.
And I agree with that. Bro. If we were to get Haaland and Rafinha, then you'd get zero complaints from me. In fact, then I might even start sipping the Kool-Aid still. Jamrock says, read that both Klopp and Edwards wanted starter players. To me, that just sounds a bit like an excuse because the argument's going to be, who can you get that's better than Salah? Who can you get that's better than Mane? Who can you get that's better than Jota? No team in the history of football can always just buy starter players. It's impossible.
It's true. You got to find the balance, isn't it?
Ason says, "Bro, Taki has been given bread and crumbs for minutes." Told you, Matt. Working the beast, bro. Jamrock says Gnabry, Lewandowski, Coman, and Muller out of contract in 2023. 3 of those will be renewed. It's the whole Goretzka thing all over again. Everyone was starting to think, Goretzka might be leaving. 2 weeks later, he's signed, sealed, and he's still pushing weights in the gym. Like it's just what they do. Taji official says, "What about Masala or Bellingham?" We'd love Bellingham. We've all said we'd love Bellingham.
Yeah, let's get
that money from. Tahir says, "Without signings, I feel this team will drain out." Agreed.
Yeah.
Jamrock says Barca are now in 1.5 billion euros in debt.
So they just took another loan and were like, "We ain't paying this back, but we'll just have it right now. Don't worry about that, man."
They just keep on taking out different credit cards.
Love a loan. Them man, they love a loan, innit?
The banks must love them, boy. The banks must just live off their interest. Jay Finn says, but when we bought them, Drifty, the fan base was separated. Look at guys, you guys, you only you wanted Jota, Drift. Matt and Cal, Klopp a waste in a club for not signing Timo. Yeah.
That's
no
part and
two ways about
parcel
it.
of it, though.
Yeah,
100%, bro. You're
Me
right,
and
though.
Matt
But
was
it's
fully
part
wrong about that. Fully wrong about
I can admit that. But it's part and
Fully
parcel
wrong.
of it, innit? Like, but again, Jota's proved everyone this is what we
right
needed.
slash wrong. Right slash wrong.
Yeah.
Whether you're a Drifty or
You know
you're
what I
on
mean?
us.
We need
he's
players like
made
that.
everyone believers.
More.
John Conway says, big up, guys. Hope you had a nice Christmas. Big up, John. Hope you
Big
did
yourself,
well,
John,
bro.
man. Yeah, man. Merry Christmas as well, bro.
Rahil, LOI, just remembered, Drift, you said you would rather Hendo at the 6th than Fab. Drift, sorry, bro, we can't let us slide.
That was only to accommodate Navi and Thiago in the same team.
Told you.
Yeah,
People have receipts.
I own it. And nobody can tell me that Hendo hasn't played well when he's played 6. It's not a stupid statement. And I also said it depends on the opposition as well. So.
Fair dues. Ronaldinho Goat says Bobby has the highest goal assist per 90 in the league. Put some respect on his name. He has, but it's a small sample size to work
because of the appearances that he's had, though, isn't it? That's
but
why.
Bobby was in superb form before he got injured. It was a real shame at the time he got injured because we were in a
20
position.
20-0 comps is still coming, guys. Keep the faith, man. Keep the faith.
I hope so
as well.
Right.
What's he on now, Matt? Can you quickly get me Bobby's overall stats in all comps?
Yeah. Let me see
While Matt's just searching for that, I'm going to speak about the man, the myth, the legend. 4 years ago today, we saw a man with a ponytail, waves, and a fade. 6'4", taller than the Christmas tree, standing next to a Christmas tree, holding the 17-18 Liverpool kit in his hands, wearing all black. His name is Virgil Van Dyke. £75 million. At the time, Sky Sports did a poll and asked the people, do you think Virgil Van Dyke is worth 75 million? 75% of people said no. People tweeted saying you could have signed Lewis Dunk for a tenth of that fee. Man United fans said we signed Eric Wright for 30 million. Look at Liverpool, they're in the mud. 4 years later, this guy has picked up PFA Player of the Year, second place in the Ballon d'Or, Premier League winner, Champions League winner, World Club Cup winner, and European Super Cup winner, and is globally recognized as the best centre-back in the world. Matt Drift, what has been your favourite Virgil van Dijk moment so far?
Favourite?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I wasn't ready for that one.
I know you weren't ready for people. I know you weren't ready for it.
Probably. You know what? One of my favorite, one of the ones that stick out is when we was facing Wolves and he was up against Adama. And I never forget, I was thinking Adama's gonna roast him, because Adama's literally he would just ice skate around anybody, innit? Then when I just saw my man put on some jet, I knew Van Dijk was fast because obviously you see him play at the stadium and whatnot. But bro, the man is actually rapid, bro, stupidly quick. His because of his stride pattern, he's got a long stride pattern, innit? It's mad, bro. And even I think there was one game we played against Spurs, bro. He didn't let Kane touch the ball, fam. I can't remember if it might have been away from home. I think he didn't let Kane, bro. It was one of the best performances that I'd seen. I was like, he actually just nullified Kane. So yeah, I don't know. There's a few though. I
think the one that stands out for me because of the whole, just the swag behind it, because I'm a man who likes things that look good as well as statistically are good. It was when he scored that header against Man United, and then he ran off with the side eye to the fans. He just gave the fans the side eye, fucking dickhead. And then he did the little celebration. True. Or do you remember the celebration against Norwich when he scored on the opening day? And he did the little, when we won the league, there was a whole bit where
yeah.
You remember that celebration he did when it was he just leant back with both his arms out. See them little moments there? They're the moments for me that I remember, because it's standard him sweeping man up on the pitch and all that. Them things man does regular.
no.
Like man don't even remember those anymore. Like this season, I swear he did. Like the ball was like coming over his head, and he like headed it up in the air, turned around, controlled it, and then played the ball.
But he does,
Was that
bro.
last season? I
No,
don't
the
know
season
what.
before, so that was the
Season
before.
before, when he
Like,
done it against the Brighton attacker,
Brighton,
innit?
yeah.
I thought it was this year. He might have done it
No.
again this year. I swear
No,
I
he's
remember
done
him doing
something
it this
similar.
year.
He's done something kind of similar. Like
Like
do you
them
know what else
type
just
of
stood
things.
out?
The man's just mad.
Actually, there's someone said who said it? I can't remember who said it now. Someone talked about the Son challenge in the Champions League final. Yeah, bro, he had to
Go
put on them because Son is rapid as well,
Yeah.
and he was behind him, and he just like I got a double clutch. Another one was we can never forget the Sissoko thing. Remember when them man 2-on-1?
Yeah.
Have you ever
Aye.
seen the defender like he basically he forced them to make the worst decision possible? Sissoko on his left foot. My days, bro. My days.
For me, my favorite Virgil moment was the goal against Bayern Munich in the Champions League.
Wait, his header.
Oh, then
What about
when he
his pass
passed
to
2-1
Mane?
up.
Remember the pass to Mane outside the boot.
pass is crazy.
Oh yeah.
The pass is
And
crazy.
then he watches it. I think when Mane spins, I think he's already putting his hands out like I know it's a goal, isn't it? He
Yeah.
does that a lot. Have you noticed?
Yeah, he
Virgil
does,
does
yeah,
that
that's
a lot?
his thing. Yeah, when Salah and Mane are through in on goal,
He's like
he
this.
puts his arms up. Yeah.
Well, like I know it's a goal. I
Does
see
some
him
stone,
training
does the
every
stone
day.
cold, innit? Does the stone
Yeah.
cold, bro.
You know the moment that I knew meant more to Virgil than it does to a lot of others was when he collapsed to the ground after Divock got the winning goal in the Champions League final. And if you see the behind the thing, he just collapsed with his hands in the air. And then at the final whistle, he started to cry. And it's kind of mad because as a man like him, you don't feel that emotion's going to come out of Virgil. But he was so over the moon and overwhelmed that even a big, hard man like him, he just fell to the ground and just started crying. And it's them moments that let you know how much he loves the club. And then on top of that, the man went and signed a new contract with no qualms, no problems, no nothing. And we let's all keep it real. Van Dijk could have easily hustled himself a new club at any moment he wanted. So the fact that he signed a new deal at Liverpool so easily, but all right, he was coming off of a year out and nobody knew if he was going to be the same. But I know other clubs would have took a chance on that, 1,000%. You know what I mean? Like, this is Virgil we're talking about. The fact that he just stayed, you see that level of love and loyalty? I love that shit. Like, because we're used to how all our big boys just ducking out. And I love the fact that he just, nah, I'm here. Don't care. Ain't going nowhere. I could go anywhere, but where else in the world would I rather be? And that type of stuff there, I think that stuff can't be slept on either. Do you know what I mean?
No, agreed.
So guys, just obviously you guys let us know what your thoughts are. For me, he's the best centre back in the world, has been for a couple of years now, and he plays for Liverpool Football Club. You gotta love it. You've got to love it.
When it's all said and done, Cal, I think Van Dijk goes in the top 5 centre backs ever.
All right, so that's my next question. What does he have to do to become the greatest Premier League centre back?
I don't
Just
think he
keep
needs
up
to
the
do
level.
anything but keep doing it.
Yeah, the level just got to stay in it. Obviously,
How long though?
I'll say like, what is he, 30 now? Bro, another 3 years or something like that, because obviously, unfortunately, missed a year. But he's been elite every year he's played for us. And let's not even sleep on... I think people sleep on his Southampton days. It's because Southampton as a team weren't great, yeah? But bro, at Southampton, he was a monster. I'll never forget when we played him. Yeah, but Celtic, I'll say... You could see he was too good for that league. But I remember,
but you still got a rating for it. Do you know what I mean? Because he was still... It's like Hendrik Larsson. Hendrik Larsson was clearly too good for the Scottish League.
Yeah.
But the majority of his career is in the Scottish League. But we still give him his flowers because he was a top baller. Do you know what I'm saying?
Every time they play Barca, so they used to get matched at Barca all the time. I was like, why is it? You just see VVD. It was literally just like VVD versus Barca. It's actually stupid, bro. It was mad.
And he always gave a good account of himself. As I said, I'm surprised none of the other big boys really tried. I know Pep did try and get him.
But it was too late, man.
Obviously, Klopp had already taken him to the beach and patted him up, so it was all right still.
You can see the relationship that him and Klopp have as well.
Yeah.
You know, one meeting with Klopp, and he was like, yeah, I'm coming Liverpool.
That's the guy I need to work
I'll be
for.
honest,
Yeah, that's the guy.
I think you sit Klopp in a... Let's say it was Haaland, and Haaland said, right, I want a meeting with Pep, Klopp, and Tuchel, and everyone's paying the same salary, everyone's paying the same transfer fee, I'd pretty much put my house on that Klopp's going to be the one to convince him to sign for Liverpool.
Because I think it's not even just about the football that he speaks about, bro. Klopp strikes me as someone that I kind of want to know what you're doing, bro. Like when football's finished, like what you doing when we're not kicking ball. Like he just wants to know about you as well. And I think he's getting more personable with you. Whereas you can imagine you sit down with Pep, and no disrespect to Pep, but you could imagine Pep. First thing he says to you, do you know much about the 4-3-3 formation? Do you know how flexibility? Do you know what we can do? It's like, it's different. You just know Pep would, you just be sitting there like rah, fam, I just want to.
Have you watched any football today?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
More than you could believe.
I don't agree with that. I think Pep is just as alluring as Klopp, but not in a personal way.
Let me ask you this.
I think people want to play for Guardiola just as much as
No. I'm joking. But
I think they want to play for him. But in terms of a sit-down meet, do they want to play for Guardiola or do they want to play for the team he's managing?
No, I think him, Cal. I genuinely think like Pep is not that much of a robot. I think if you see Pep smoking cigars and showing a little soft side every now and again, I reckon when it's a man who he loves in the team, they get that Guardiola sometimes.
Yeah, but if you show a soft side once a year and that's only when you win trophies, brother, what's it like if you have a bad season?
Plus, they know he gets the best out of you and they know he plays in a way that wins things. So that's also alluring. Like, you know, if you play for Guardiola, you're winning shit. Without a shadow of a doubt, you are winning shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is it more to do with what you can win and what you can, rather than playing for the man himself?
I think you'd want to play for Klopp the person more. I agree, but I still think the allure of Pep and what he brings wouldn't mean we would guarantee the player because he's had to sit down with Klopp. That's all I'm saying. All the others, Pep, I think that's a 50-50 because I think people do want to play for Guardiola. I do.
I think they do. You're right, and I think it all depends on him how you kind of take him at face value because you can see he's got that kind of ego thing. But I think it's more
player as well.
I think it does that. Whereas I think Klopp, all Klopp has to do is literally just give you like you see Guardiola. Yeah, you can imagine Guardiola comes to the office and Guardiola is like sipping on wine and telling you about the formations and things like that. Yeah. Then you've got Klopp, who's just like, no, just go into the fridge and just get yourself whatever kind of drink you want. We got Foster's, we got dig out what you want. You know the ones there.
Drunk, bro.
Yeah.
Klopp got drunk.
He allowed Trent to walk on pitch. Drunk. Guardiola ain't doing that.
Yeah. You're right. Maybe you're right.
Him back. I need to find that video.
What is amazing about Klopp is how the man is capable of balancing professionalism, jokiness, love and support with harsh realities and kicking people up the arse.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do you... No, but not even just that, Cal, because when you deep it, you can respect the man, but he don't have the balance right of everything. Like, I reckon players respected Rafa, but he clearly didn't have like people skills. Like,
I was gonna say, he didn't have the peak. You got to have it all, bro.
Rafa didn't have the bruv.
But he had the respect, though, Cal. Let's be real. We know the players respected Rafa. Do you know what I'm saying? But he didn't have the people skills, bro.
Or was it respect, or was it kind of fear?
No, I think it was respect. I think it was.
Because, bruv, I'm gonna be real with you, yeah. Rafa, there's rumors Rafa used to just walk past man in the corridors, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Gerrard said that, fam.
That's a madness shit.
But Carragher said that it made you want to prove yourself to him, like a dad situation where like he earned your respect by being cold and you wanted his approval.
And then there's a thin line between tough love and disrespect.
No, but you know that harsh dad.
Me, bro. Like, we're grown ups. You don't have to walk past, man.
You know there's one in the approval of the man who's got such the high standard, and it's the respect that makes you want his approval. Let's be real. You don't want the approval of a man you don't respect. So but Klopp balances it out. Like, he can rush you up on Monday and he'll be explaining it on Tuesday, and on Wednesday you love him again. But then he'll badge you up again on Thursday. It is the maddest way how he's got the best balance out of like everything. It's weird.
Do you know he had the most complicated relationship with? It's probably Zakaria. I'll never forget a time when we won a game, And for some strange reason, Klopp was just laying into Shaqiri, and Shaqiri's looking at him so scared. Like, well, I understand what I've done. Like, but then afterwards, though, Klopp gave him a hug. Because Shaqiri was like, I understand what's happening. So anyway, Shaqiri probably plays like 3-4 days later, and like he says like, he said something about him in the press conference. What did he say? He was like, yeah, Shaq is a big player for these moments, but then didn't play him. And then you see the next time Shaqiri plays, he plays decent. And then I remember Klopp takes him off, and I'm like, what is going on with Shaqiri though? Big man thing. But then he's gonna change his position. Remember that game when he played him in midfield? And Shaqiri had a ball. Remember, and Shaqiri scored a free kick, I think, in that game, yeah?
Yeah.
Bro, it was kind of mad. Him and Shaqiri was shook of him. I don't know what it was, but
bro, he does that with everyone. Remember that time when Hendo came off and he didn't shake his hand in the Man United game, bro?
Remember Milner?
Bruv.
Milner,
Klopp will give it to everyone, bro.
Somebody revealed Milner and Klopp nearly went to blows or something?
Yeah.
Like, it got mad heated. Because Milner ain't backing down to nobody.
But that man said, I wouldn't have fancied Milner's chances, bro. But let's not forget, Klopp's an older man, but he's a unit, you know.
Nah, he's tall as well. He's not like a slender. He's not slim. Like he's not slim.
Bro.
He does.
Don't let the smile and the fact that he's had laser eye surgery fool you, bro. Klopp weigh you in if he has to.
But if you want to see the way he looked at Benteke when he knocked his glasses off, you know you don't want it, bro.
Aye, bro. And imagine just one
game. Benteke's a bit of a unit himself.
Yeah.
Look at Sacco, bro. When you
told
me, bro, I would leave you here, bro. I'll leave you in this prison camp, bro.
He did it on camera as well. Like, he was not messing about, fam.
He had Sacco crying on TV in France, bro.
Yeah, that's mad.
Klopp's not a man to be messing about with.
Alright, big up Sacco. I like Sacco, man.
Yeah, do you not think that Klopp's ever grabbed anybody by the collar like this in the changing room at half time?
I reckon so 100%. Yeah, I reckon, but he only does it to the people I think that can handle it.
Who do you think would have been the guy he would have done it to?
Probably
he would have done it to that.
Robbo. You think
Robbie
so?
could be mouthy, innit? And obviously,
Robbo's
up and down the wing. Like, Klopp shouting instructions on Robbo's going to give it back because Robbo's that type of guy. Robbo will give it back. Klopp probably just drapes him up in the.
That's a good one. Yeah, I reckon Robbo's probably spot on, you know.
You know when man's shouting in your face, the spit's going in your face. Yes, boss.
I know one player ain't doing that too because they would fold, fam.
I'm sorry, Jurgen.
They would fold.
Yeah, Klopp's about that life, man.
There's a slight part of me that feels like there might have been a fallout and he did that to Divock. And that's why Divock had a whole year where he never made no appearances.
I don't think there was a fallout. I think they just probably came to a point where they weren't seeing eye to eye. But Divock doesn't seem like the person who's going to throw his toys out or have like a fallout with you.
No, but maybe he did something like cheeky or naughty or something, and Klopp just grips him up and was like, look, I'm not having this. I'm not having this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Give some money
to the local university while you're at it as well. Set up a scholarship, bro. Don't do that again. I definitely think they had a talk in the summer, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they had a heart to heart. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah. He definitely brought him back in from the wilderness.
It's going to be like the super chats before we reveal the latest in the Fantasy Premier League table. DJ says, big up Kopish, just catching up. Bonucci, Barzagli and Chiellini played in the back three and were world class, but they played in a system that suited them. It's a good example. It's a rare example, though.
I think that system was also catered to the lack of pace as well, though, if I'm being honest. Which again is sometimes covering up deficiencies. But
we say that Italy played it with a two at the back with Bonucci and Chiellini and won the Euros, bro. So
they kind of did still. They kind of smashed it. Them man there,
they played a higher line.
Didn't they play a three?
No, they played a two.
No, they played the back four. Italy.
Did they play a four?
Remember Spinazzola?
For some of the games they played a three, but I think the knockout games is four at the back. Sorry.
Yeah, was it Spinazzola, Florenzi? Them. I'm trying to think. Yeah,
Spinazzola got injured as well. He was on course to become like player of the tournament potentially as well.
Is he back yet from that injury?
No idea.
I'm not sure.
Ronaldinho Goat says, play Bobby, Thiago and Naby and watch the magic. I'd be up for that. I really would like to see Bobby play in midfield, man. If you really convince me on that one, I'm not going to lie. I want to see it now. Ason says, him casually lifting Sterling as he got up bully. That's Virgil.
I
Yeah,
remember that. He was on his back in it, and he just rose like the Undertaker.
Yeah, he did.
That was mad, you know.
We
He's
saying
almost
everyone
a
in
whole
our team's
foot
had a
taller than
go at
man as
picking
well.
up Sterling, yeah?
Yeah. He's almost a foot taller than Sterling as well. Sterling couldn't even really do nothing. Genie Houdini says VVD in a Champions League final versus Tottenham. I swear he cleared every ball. VVD pre-injury speed was ridiculous. His speed is still good now.
Still very good now. Might not exactly be exactly the same, but he's still very deceptively quick though. He's still very quick.
Tahir says first game against Everton, header from VVD. Remember that as well.
Debut goal, header against Everton. Can't start.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
For real. Taji says Fab missed that first penalty. Thoughts of the buy ATP?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what that super chat means. Send it again, please, Taji. 40-year-old Virgil says VVD says one title at Liverpool is better than multiple titles at other clubs. He has said that. Very true. I like players with that mentality. Although I'd like to see him get multiple titles at Liverpool, which would be even better.
And I do agree. I completely disagree on anyone who thinks that he's got to win more to be considered good as an individual, because I hate that conversation of you're only a good individual because of how many titles your whole team won. That doesn't make any sense for me. Otherwise, we might as well stop talking about Alan Shearer.
Genie Houdini, facts drift. Genie Houdini says Klopp is not grabbing up Robbo. That man shoved Messi in the back of his head and continued the game like nothing happened. Robbo's about it as well, but I just think Klopp would have definitely done it with Robbo. He's just about that. Genie Houdini says Klopp grabbing up man's neck collar is part of the initiation people into the squad. I tried grabbing Kanate's collar and he smiled and flung Klopp across the dressing room. Klopp smiled back. I'll be honest, that's the one man you ain't gonna drag up still.
You're not dragging out Ibra in front.
Yeah, you're not dragging.
Drag up by Ibra.
Klopp would have to put something in his drink to weaken him still.
Klopp would actually probably have to get Virgil to back him on that one. I can't even front because Ibu's a unit, fam. Ibu's a unit.
He said Klopp just got sat down. He's like, "You man, I'm about to bad up Ibu, but I'm gonna need your help." You know,
it'd have to be Robbo,
Virgil,
Milner, Virgil.
Got to be involved.
Yeah, Milner's got to be
and the
involved.
captain.
Yeah, and I think Virg.
The fact that Ibu picks people up with ease, like I don't think you lot quite understand, or maybe you do. But what he did to Fred, it doesn't even matter how strong you are. You need to have like like when you're on the train and the train's moving and you've got to keep repositioning your feet just to stay balanced.
It's the core.
He moved Fred in a way where he wasn't even like wide based or anything, and he a whole grown man, and he just shifted him. Totally no backlift, no nothing. And I'm like, that shouldn't be put. He did that like it was a 1-year-old. Like literally like somebody who has no physical body strength at all. I was like, how did he do that so easily? It don't make no sense, bro.
Because he's not even fully like facing. He kind of like
the stance was all
wrong. That was mad. That was mad, but he's got strength that's like different. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, he's a problem, bro.
I don't know who's stronger out of VVD and Ibu. I'll be honest with you. I'd probably
only give it to Virgil on man strength, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Yeah, but if they were like both running for the ball, both shoulder to shoulder, I think there's times when Ibu's probably knocked him off the ball, so to speak, and yeah, I think it's kind of 50-50 still.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. My bad. Rewind 2 seconds back to the VVD favorite moment. How the fuck did I forget when he barged Ronaldo, that little pussy boy, after he tried to boot Jones when he was on the floor? Sorry. Without a shadow of a doubt, is the Virgil moment of his Liverpool career. To show that boy, who the hell do you think you are? Right here, we don't give a damn what your name is, bro. Yeah. You ain't doing that to one of our young ones. No way. How did I forget about that? My bad, Virg. My bad.
Ason says Ibu moves like a crane, effortless lifting.
It's true. It's real, bro. It's actually real.
It's true. All right, guys. It's come to that time of the show where we have to reveal who has improved, who has not improved, and who's top of the Fantasy Premier League. Let's go. Right, so guys, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So in first place, hanging on by 2 points, is still Mark A. Had a very good game week, 71 points. Big week, actually.
Raw with all the cancellations. That's
I
a
forgot
good
to
week.
do mine, bro. I can't even front. I flopped, bro.
Marcus is still in second place, 2 points behind Mark. Scoop with a very, very weird week with him, 40 points for Scoop, which has seen him drop to third. But not only that, he is now 27 points behind Mark. Sorry, 17 points behind Mark. Crazy. Big turnaround there. Nathi is in fourth place. You've got Roughton in fifth. Kuda, I've not seen Kuda's name before. Kuda's up to sixth. Kunal in seventh. AJ in eighth. Another AJ in ninth. James in 10th. 40-year-old Virgil climbing up in 11th. James Burrows, aka FSG, in 12th place. Calvin in 13th. Cameron in 14th, and making up the top 15 is Isaac. It's really heating up this little fantasy league. It really is. 536
man, I'm saying Scoop's doing a Leicester. Oh shit!
Oh wow!
That's why we ain't seen Scoop still.
Just listen.
Scoop's just in there, just moving different boards around and tactics boards. His room must be a madness at the moment. Man, just got bare paper on the floor, just scrumpled up paper with different combinations and all that. But yeah, Scoop has moved down to third place, and Mark A is strengthening his grip on that first
Carrying
place.
the flag, Mark A.
He is indeed. I'm not surprised about Mark A though, because let's be honest, whenever he calls in, he gives us that knowledge. So maybe we've been sleeping on Mark A. Mark A is young as well. It's a new generation. I'm telling you, the new generation's coming.
It's true.
The new generation's coming. But yes, big up to everyone who's competing in that league as well. Right, boys. One more super chat here. John Silver says 2 teams I can't stand: Napoli and Atletico Madrid. What about you? Yeah, I'm not a fan of those 2 teams, to be honest.
No. I haven't got any issues with Napoli. I don't like Atletico based under Simeone's very aggressive cheating kind of style. I didn't have a problem with Atletico back in the day, though. I used to like them.
Vex says, Vex Blaze, it's been a while, Vex Blaze. I hope you're well. Have you seen Mane's interview where he says he's the quickest over 20 yards, but Van Dyke is the quickest player in the squad? Yeah. I wouldn't be
at one point. Was it not Gomez? Though,
I was just going to say, but the injuries, isn't it? The injuries are probably corrupt. Gomez probably went from a 10 to like a 9, so he's still going to burn 90% of the world, but not as quick as he was, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mad.
Indeed. But people, we will be back tomorrow evening for a live watch along for Leicester City versus Liverpool. You'd have to ask Matt about that, Darth Drifty.
Hey, Darth, is that even to keep talking? Yeah.
We will be back tomorrow evening for the live watch along. So make sure you join us for that.
I would have fried you.
And do keep an eye on the socials as well. As I said, make sure you check out the Leicester City versus Liverpool preview if you haven't, but also check out the Christmas special as well if you want to have a nice little laugh. Good little video that was, despite the result for me. But no, all fun and jokes. But yes, people, if you haven't already, do smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until we see you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay blessed. Enjoy the rest of the bank holiday Monday. See you tomorrow. Take it easy, people.
Peace.